Hi everybody and welcome to this week's Over Under show. We've got three guests today. Stuart from Talking Tipsters, Lee from William Hill, and we've also got Jason Mills there from BetAdvisor. Hi guys, thanks for being here.
Hello.
Hello.
Right, we're going to quickly look at last week's results. Last week we had Lee Phelps and Stuart. And Lee, the first time since the show started, you have won. Congratulations.
What?
Well, hey.
Yeah, you
won.
won.
I only got 4.
No, you got 5.
I got 5 for Lee.
Consistent everything in this game.
Lee got 5. Stuart?
Yeah.
3. 3. What happened?
It was just a really weird week, I'd say. It went badly from the very first match and just continued to go downhill from there. So, better this week. That's what I'm after.
Well, there was a lot of upset, so it's not all of your all fault. But let's see if we can do better this week. And we've obviously got Jason Mills from BetAdvisor. You're normally one of the highest scorers. How do you think you're going to do, Jason?
Try my best. It's looking tricky though, to be honest. It's not easy lineup this week, is it?
No, it's not. But let's see how we'll do. Right, we're going to start. Before we start, all odds that I'm going to quote today are supplied by Bet365. So Saturday's matches, kicking off Saturday's matches, we've got Tottenham versus Arsenal. The over is priced 1.7. The under is priced 2.1. Jason Mills, where do you stand on this one?
I'm going to go over on this one. I quite like this match. Arsenal seem to be scoring well. They've scored 2 goals in 8 of the last 9 matches. Tottenham's strike force looking to be, with Harry Kane and Eriksen, they seem to be scoring now. So got a feeling there could be a few goals in this one, so I'm going over.
Yeah. Lee, do you agree?
Yeah, really do agree. I think this is probably one of the best overs bets on the coupon. I think these sometimes these 12:45 games take a little bit of time to get going, but I don't think this one. I think they'll be right out at it. But I think Spurs may be the ones who go into the lead here. Arsenal traditionally, and maybe a bit of a kind of a story that just keeps getting perpetuated. But Martin Keown once told me that Arsene Wenger feeds them spaghetti bolognese for breakfast for these games, and none of the players like it. And I've heard it now from current players as well. Too much pasta at breakfast, Arsene. So I think Spurs are going to the lead, but Arsenal may peg it back for a 2-2 draw.
All right, that's quite interesting there. Stuart, what do you think?
I think it's definitely going to be an over as well. It should be a really entertaining game. The midfield battle is going to be quite interesting though, because the Arsenal midfield certainly toughened up a bit recently, and also Nabil Bentaleb has been in training since Tuesday, and so I've got fingers crossed he's going to be playing in this one as well, because he certainly makes a difference to that Spurs midfield. Okay,
so everyone's agreeing here on the over. Good start to the day. Aston Villa versus Chelsea. Over is priced 2, the under slightly lower here, 1.8, so another under match being favoured with shorter odds. Stuart, what are you going for?
Well, a lot of people have talked about Aston Villa's inability to score, and they haven't scored for 6 games now, 5 hours, 42 minutes in the league at home. They also haven't kept the clean sheet since facing Palace in the 20th round of matches, and they were about to win in 8 league matches. So, I think we can be looking at a Chelsea win. But with Costa missing through suspension, maybe Cuadrado's going to get his debut in this one, and also the fact that Jose Mourinho has never won against Villa in the league at Villa Park. I think this is going to be an under 2.5 goals game, so I think it's going to be reasonably tight.
Yeah, I think the question is, can Aston Villa score? Can Chelsea score over 2.5 goals by themselves? Lee, over or under?
Yeah, everything in my head agrees with Stuart, but I'm going to go overs for some reason in this one. So, he's right.
Yeah.
Everything is, it's a perfect summary, really, that. But I don't know why I'm going against it, but I am. I just got a sense that Villa run cannot last forever. And again, I wouldn't be surprised. Chelsea have been a little bit susceptible away from home this season. Top scorers in the Premier League away from home, but also letting 16 goals on the road, which is quite a lot. Admittedly, Chelsea may well, as Stuart say, have to get the over 2.5 on their own. But I think that record that he mentioned might just stir Mourinho into making sure his players get the job done here. I'm going to go over 2.5. I could see it be a Chelsea 2-1, maybe even a 3-1.
Yeah, that's right. Chelsea have been obviously stronger at home this season. Jason, what are you going for?
I was going to say very similar to Lee there. I'm going to go over as well, for very similar reasons. I was looking at the head-to-heads between these sides, and there's been over 2.5 goals in 6 of the last 7 matches between these two. And like Lee said, Aston Villa's sort of no scoring can't carry on. Chelsea could get 3 as well. I got a feeling, like Lee said, Villa are going to score, and Chelsea are going to get, they're going to get more. So that points to an over for me.
Okay, so Stuart, you stand alone on this one.
Yeah. Just to let you know as well, I'm going to take that clip of Lee saying that's a perfect summary from Stuart. I'm going to put it on my website and create a link to the YouTube video. Thank you for the advertising.
I'll sign it as well.
All right, so next we've got Leicester City versus Crystal Palace. The over is 2.1, the under 1.7 there, so pointing heavily in a low-scoring match. Jason Mills, do you agree?
I am going to go under, so yes, I do agree. Basically, because in similar matches that Palace have played away, they played away to Villa, they played away to QPR, and both of those were 0-0 draws. So with Leicester being a similar sort of position team, I've got a feeling it's going to be, another low-scoring match, 1-0 to either side, or maybe a 0-0 draw. So under.
All right, under. Lee Phelps, over or under?
I'm going against Stuart again here. I'm going overs here. I think Leicester will see this game as one that they must go and try and win. Obviously they're at the bottom of the table. They haven't really strengthened in an attacking sense. They've strengthened at the back. I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. Obviously, it depends if their new Eastern European signing can hit the ground running. But I'm really impressed by what Palace have done in the transfer window. I think Jordan Much is a great signing. Obviously, we don't know if he'll start or not. I think he's someone who can score goals from midfield. And look at the goals they've scored since the new manager came in. The 3 at Southampton, 3 at Burnley, 4 against Dover. I know Dover are non-league, but he's got them in an attacking style. Obviously, drew a blank against Everton at home, but I think both teams will view this as a winnable game, and both will go for it. So I'm going for over 2.5. I might even go over 3.5, but obviously for the purposes of this, we only need 3 goals. So overs.
Okay. Well, you won last week, Lee, so maybe we should take heed of what you're saying. Stuart, what would you say?
Well, I think Lee's stolen my thunder. I'm actually going to go under because he's already said I was going under 2.5 and he was bang on. I'm going under 2.5, and I think that's definitely got a good chance, especially if Shola Amiobi starts his game or plays any reasonable number of minutes. So he's a great way to score not all the goals, frankly.
Okay, wonderful. And next we've got Manchester City versus Hull City. Over's very low here, 1.57. The under is priced 2.35. Question is, I suppose, is how many goals are we expecting Manchester City to score? Stuart, what are your thoughts?
Well, there's been a lot of speculation about Steve Bruce's future, and I think if results don't quickly improve, you could see him being replaced. There's been a lot of talk about people like Neil Lennon, who's only just taken over at Bolton, but I think he could be tempted possibly. City without winning their last 4 matches, so Pellegrini probably have to start looking over his shoulder as well if they don't improve. City are going to be without Yaya Toure and Wilfried Bony, and they found scoring goals a lot more difficult since Yaya Toure left. It's probably going to be more of the same in this one. I'm expecting a City win because Hull are just in nosedive form. Everything's telling me I should be going for an under, but I'm going for an over. I'm going against it. So over 2.5 for me.
Over 2.5. Over 2.5 has got the lowest odds there, 1.57. Yeah. So it seems to be pointing in that direction. Lee, do you agree?
I think I'll just go unders. Hull have only scored goals in 2 of the last 7 away games, which obviously isn't particularly great. And with the fact that they're missing players at the moment, I wonder if Manchester City will maybe struggle to break Hull down. Sometimes they fail to get up for games like this against lower opposition. I think Hull will go with the express intention of shutting them down and trying to get away with a draw, the way a few teams have gone there. I think they'll break them down eventually. I'm going to go for 2-0, so under 2.5.
Okay, so you're going against the bookies again, then, Lee. Stuart, Jason, what are you going for?
I'm going to be boring and go over. Basically, the fact that Man City are scoring, but they're also conceding, and when they play against Hull, it sort of tends to heighten that. So, yes, it's going to be an over for me. I can see a few goals being sort of scored and Man City conceding as well. So that doesn't take, it only takes 1 goal for Man City to concede, and it's going to be an over. So that's where I'm going.
All right. So we've got 2 overs and 1 under there with Lee. QPR versus Southampton. Interesting match. Over is 2.05, under is 1.75. Obviously, Southampton failed to score last weekend on their home turf, but more is expected from them. Jason, over or under 2.5 goals?
I'm going under in this one. QPR tend to shut up shop at home. They don't tend to score many or concede that many. So, it's from what I'm looking at. I think it's going to be a close match. So I think Southampton will win it, but I don't think it's going to be a rout. So I'm going to go under.
Under, okay. Stuart, over or under?
I'm going to go against Jason, and I'm going to go for the over. Southampton going to be missing Ryan Bertrand. There you go, there's my Frenchness coming in. Ryan Bertrand is going to be out, he's suspended, and Philip Djuric's new signing hasn't got his work done yet, as far as I know. So he's going to miss this one as well. So I think there's going to be a few goals in this one. QPR are going to be still trying to get things together since Harry Redknapp left, and under interim management, I don't think they're going to be able to hold it together. So over 2.5 goals for me.
Over 2.5 goals, so against the bookies there. Lee, with or against the bookies?
Yeah, I'm going unders here. I just think that Southampton last time had a terrible run. Getting the right game is always a good. When they had that terrible run, they just failed to arrest the slump. And I think they'll be mindful of the fact that they lost to Swansea, despite really dominating the game, but not having the final ball. I think they'll be quite keen to make sure they don't lose this game, Southampton. I just don't know where QPR are at the moment. I mean, the manager's left because of a poorly knee. I mean, what must the players be thinking now? I think morale could be at an all-time low. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a really low-scoring Southampton win and pretty drab game. I'm going to go for unders.
Okay, under there. Next, we've got Swansea versus Sunderland. The over is priced 2.2 and the under is priced 1.65. Jason, what are you going for?
Yeah, I couldn't believe the odds on this one because I really can't decide, whether it's going to be under or over. It's almost like a coin toss for me. It's really difficult match to call. I mean, eventually I'm going to go under. Basically, the fact that Swansea haven't scored more than one goal at home for ages. It all depends on Sunderland. They're really erratic. They can score loads of goals away from home, or they can score, none. So it all depends on sort of what mood Sunderland turn up in. But I'm just sort of hoping that they don't score too many and it'll be under.
Okay, so hoping they turn up in a low-scoring mentality. Lee, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been interested to watch what happened to Sunderland with the addition of Jermaine Defoe, and they've changed the system slightly, and they are scoring more goals. I mean, they've scored 6 in the last 3 away games in Cup and League, which is obviously an upturn. Swansea, I honestly don't know what to make of Swansea. I struggle to call them right every single week. I thought they got away with it a bit against Southampton, but in the end they got the goal, didn't they? And although Sigurdsson and Boney weren't there, it was John Joe Shelby popped up with a goal. I'm going to go overs here. I just think they are both erratic, and I'm not quite sure what to expect. So I think we might get quite a good game here. So I'm going to go over 2.5, but really it is a toss of a coin for me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is one of those coin tosses. What about you, Stuart? Which one are you going for?
Well, it's good to hear that Lee's got a history of getting this one wrong, because I've actually gone against him. I'm going for the under 2.5. Neither side's been particularly great in front of goal recently. Sunderland have been in 6 goalless draws this season. 58% of Swansea's home matches finished under 2.5 goals. But on the other hand, this is exactly the kind of team that Jermaine Defoe used to rack up a decent number of goals against. You could see him scoring in this one. If you look at it, 4 out of the last 11 matches between these two went over 2.5 goals, but I'm going under 2.5 for me.
All right, so you with the bookies there, under 2.5. Next, final of Saturday's matches is Everton versus Liverpool. Super close here on the odds. Over is 1.9, under is 1.9. No, that's Bet365. Jason, over or under?
Again, this is another tricky one. I mean, it's obviously a local derby, Merseyside derby. Most of these derbies between these two are really entertaining matches. Most derbies are like boring, sort of low-score draws, aren't they? But I mean, between Everton and Liverpool, they tend to have some classics. I was looking more at the stats between the results at either at Anfield or at Goodison, and at Goodison they tend to be goals scored. So I'm going to go over on this one.
You're going to go for over, okay. Lee, what are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I'm liking overs as well, actually. I mean, if you look at Liverpool's defence recently, it's been much better, hasn't it? And Everton have seemed to have tried to go back to basics, but I do think, I know it's a cliche that form goes out the window for these kind of games, but I think it does with Everton Liverpool. You know, it's the game with the most red cards in the Premier League history, 20. So it's Gerrard's last Merseyside derby as well, so he'll obviously be keyed up for it. I think both teams will have a go here. I think both teams will try to use pace to get at what are susceptible defences. I think they've been well protected in recent weeks, but I think maybe if Lennon starts especially, they'll look to get at Liverpool's defence, and Liverpool have obviously got pace. So I'm going to go overs here. I think it's a great start that about, the games at Goodison do seem to be a lot higher scoring. I think it's because Everton try and have a go at Liverpool, and Liverpool react on the counter-attack. So overs here.
Overs. Who do you see winning these?
Good question. I mean, Everton have won 1 in 15. It's not a great record, is it? I don't see, if I had to pick, I'd go with Liverpool. I mean, the draw is obviously a huge player, isn't it? But I think I'd take Liverpool. I think they're in better form. I think they've got better players, and I think they've got more confidence at the moment. So I'd edge Liverpool if I had to go for a winner, but the draw is a big player in this, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Stuart, what are your thoughts here? Over or under 2.5 goals?
Well, as Jason said, these games are often extremely entertaining, and as this is going to be Steven Gerrard's last Merseyside derby, I think it's going to be a good one. I'm expecting a decent number of goals, so I'm going over 2.5.
Over 2.5. Okay. So that brings us to Sunday's matches, and kicking off Sunday's matches is Burnley versus West Brom. The over is 2.3, and the under is pretty low there, 1.6. Jason, over or under?
I'm going under in this one. West Brom away tend to sort of keep a tight ship, and they tend to sort of play a strategical sort of style to sort of stifle the goals. I mean, 6 out of 7 of the last away games have been under. So Burnley, they're not the highest goal scorers in the league, are they? So I can't see there being many goals scored here. So I'm going to go under.
Under, okay. Under obviously is priced 1.6 there. As a bet by itself, it's kind of on the cusp of whether you would play it or not. Would you advise to take it, Jason?
It's like you say, it's right on this cusp. I can't see there being much value in it, but it's just for this particular format, we're picking. We've got to go one side or the other. Yeah. But no, it's not the best odds in the world, is it?
No. Lee, what are your thoughts? Over or under 2.5 goals?
Yeah, I'd go under as well, and I wouldn't play either. I just think that I think that's exactly right. I think Tony Pulis' MO is to go away and get points, pick up a point away from home, and try and get all 3 at home. Obviously, they didn't get any against Everton, so I think I think they'll be going into this game thinking if we come away with a point, great. If we can nick a goal on the break and keep it tight, great. So I think that's probably the way we're looking at this game, and I'm not sure Burnley will be able to break them down. They've scored goals recently in the last 3, but all 3 of those games have been against teams who have either been defensively poor, QPR, open, Tottenham, or open with Palace as well. I mean, Palace won 3-2, didn't they? So I think Burnley might struggle to break them down. I'm going to go out unders. It could be a 0-0.
All right, unders on that one. Stuart, what are you going for, over or under 2.5 goals?
I'm going to make it a hat trick of unders. We did an SBR video on this one yesterday, and with 72% of West Brom's away games finishing under 2.5 goals, and the fact I think they've actually strengthened their side defensively, under 2.5 looks like a solid bet to me.
Yeah, and at 1.6, is it enough to take the bet by itself to play the under 2.5 goals if you're really sure about it?
If you're really sure about it, it's just about enough, but it's not a huge return for the risk, is it?
No. All right. Okay, next we've got Newcastle versus Stoke. Over is priced 2.1 there. The under is priced 1.7, so no longer goals expected in this match. Lee, over or under 2.5 goals?
Yeah, tricky one, this one. Ceesay's back in the fold, and he scored more goals against Stoke than any other team he's played against in the Premier League. He's got a good record, and similarly, Jonathan Walters for Stoke has got a really good record against Newcastle. So, 2 scorers who've got good records against the clubs, but I'm not so sure. I think Stoke have only scored more than 1 goal twice on the road this season. One of those times was at Tottenham. They tend to sit in and try and hit on the break, but they're not great at it because they're not great finishers. I'm struggling with this one a bit, but I think I'll go unders. I see a draw, and I'm struggling to see a 2-2 draw, so I'll go for the unders.
All right, yeah. Stuart, over under?
Yeah, this one is very tough. It could go either way. Both teams seem to favour a game won by just a single goal, so a tight match is ahead, I think. But if you look at Newcastle's recent games, find that their last 6 matches have gone over 2.5 goals, and their defence is looking more than a bit shoddy. If you go for the head-to-head, it indicates you should be going for an overs match. So I'm going to follow that one. I just can't see the Newcastle defence being strong enough to keep a goal out or keep the score very low. So over 2.5 for me.
Okay, over 2.5. And then Jason, over or under 2.5 goals?
It's another very tough match to predict, isn't it? I mean, it's if you look at the past matches between them, you know, there have been goals scored, but just looking at the styles that they play this season, it's going to be one of those ones that I think they're just going to cancel each other out. I think it's, you know, the strategies, you know, it's hugely dependent on which, you know, what the managers play and formations that they play. But I think, you know, I'm just edging towards under here. I think it could just be, you know, it's going to be so close, but, you know, maybe 1-1, so under for me.
Under, okay, well, under is has lowest odds there, 1.7, over price 2.1. Finally, we've got West Ham versus Manchester United. The over is priced 1.9, the under is priced 1.9, odds applied by Bet365. Starting with you, Jason, over or under 2.5 goals?
I'm going over in this one. These two sides, they seem to score goals against each other. They're both in form. They're both scoring goals. So, you know, I'm taking it that there's going to be a few goals here. So I'm definitely going to go over on this one.
Yeah, going to go over. What about you, Lee? Over or under 2.5 goals?
Yeah, over as well. I agree. I think West Ham will have a go at this one. I think they were unlucky to come away with nothing from Old Trafford. In Manchester United sometimes struggle to create chances away from home. Other times they can rack up 3 goals. So who knows? But I think West Ham will have a real go here, and Man United have got the pace on the break to hurt them. One interesting stat, which I'll repeat in a little while after when we record one of our pieces, is that West Ham have scored more headers than anyone else in the Premier League, 14. And I think that'll test this Manchester United defence. The head is decent in the air and decent at crosses, but I'm not sure the defence is. So maybe Carroll, if he starts to get a goal in this one as well, might be a decent bet, but definitely overs here. I can see a really entertaining final game of the Premier League weekend.
Yeah, I agree, to be honest. What about you? What about you, Stuart? What are you going for? Over or under 2.5 goals?
Well, I think Lee's reading the same report side because I saw exactly the same thing earlier today. So yeah, with the heading dominance that West Ham have got, and also the gaping hole for the back that should be Manchester United central defence, I can't see this one staying under 2.5. And I went for over 2.5 goals in the video, and I'm sticking with that. So yeah, over 2.5 goals.
You'd have to retract if you were going to change your mind. You'd have to look at the All right, well, wonderful. Well, that wraps things up here. Any changes before? You've still got a moment to change?
Rock solid. I'm rock solid in mine.
Then you need to,
2 in a row, Lee.
you all feel confident.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win?
Well, interestingly, Lee has the highest total odds. Jason has the lowest, and I'm bang in the middle. So I think Jason's probably got the highest chance of winning if you go by the statistics.
Yeah.
Well, you are our last year's winner, so let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.